Quick survey here. How many of you guys have been fans since 2000? 2000? Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I think you'll be familiar with what I'm about to say. One of the most underrated mistakes, if you go back through Florentino Perez's first tenure as a Real Madrid president, and we can all admit he's come a long way since then. If we can talk about his mistakes in his first tenure, the mistakes were kind of rectified. He did also let his manager, starting with Mourinho, have more of a say in the sporting direction. And obviously what he's done from a financial perspective for the club is unparalleled. I can't even picture where we would be if not for his leadership during the pandemic. Having said that, when you think about his biggest mistakes, what comes to mind in his first tenure? Woodgate, okay. One I forgot about. Just blurt them out. Makaleli. Any others?
The defense in general, yeah.
Yeah. Not sorting out the defense in general. Maybe making his roster a little bit too top heavy. Yeah, not balanced. So the one for me, and other ones that come to my mind are selling Redondo, selling Morientes, who obviously knocked us out of the Champions League. Although I think he was on loan that season. He was on loan. Yeah. The one that I think about was Esteban Cambiaso. As if you're going to sell Claude Makaleli, who is at the time a revolutionary defensive midfielder, he's a destroyer, he's a brick wall, nobody can dribble past him. He's the guy who's pulling that team together defensively while everyone else is just attack minded. You sell him, okay, done. Mistake made.
He was he was a Kante of his time, basically.
Yeah, I mean he was the best defensive midfielder of that era. So when you think about who you have that could replace him, you have Esteban Cambiaso, who is coming up through your youth ranks. He's a highly promising defensive midfielder. He's about to go to Inter Milan and help them win a treble. He is a perfect player to take that role on, and we just sold him. And I think that was really a mistake that somehow doesn't get highlighted much when you think about Real Madrid's history in the past 20, 25 years. And the fact that from 2003, so essentially from the year that Claude Makaleli gets sold, until Xabi Alonso comes along, we were unable to fill that void. And Cambiaso was sitting right there, and we just sold him. So who do we flip through? You can help me run through. Pablo Garcia. The great Thomas Gravesen.
Oh my God.
Who I will take no slander of Gravesen. He's a legend. Fernando Gago, Lassana Diarra,
Mahamadou
Diarra, Emerson.
Oh my God.
There's got to be someone. Who? Granero.
He kind of counts. He kind
of counts. A little bit more central midfield.
De La Red before he.
I mean, and that honestly, that's a huge huge what if De La Red too, right? But De La Red would kind of actually. Lucas and I were talking about this on the mailbag. I think it was a few days ago that you could have had a partnership potentially of De La Red and Xabi Alonso on Real Madrid's midfield, which would have been a huge help as well, because Xabi Alonso was also paired with these aforementioned players, the Gagos, the Lassana Diarras. Do you guys remember 2009? Was it the Liverpool debacle? Was it Lassana Diarra and Fernando Gago in midfield, just chasing shadows, trying to keep up with Steven Gerrard, Xabi Alonso? That was one of the worst nights that I can remember as a Real Madrid fan. Yeah, I could see Christian just disgust on his face.
Juan de Ramos.
Yeah. That was a dark era.
That winter, but he couldn't play.
Yeah, Huntelaar, who was unable to be registered.
He wasn't actually had a good form at that time.
Yeah, that's
Poor
right.
guy only got 6 months at Madrid too.
Yeah. So do you have any others? I mean, we could go on forever, I think.
Yeah,
but,
we could. But maybe just to kind of wrap up, and it kind of builds off of your last point on Florentino mistakes, and you brought it up. And this is something my brother, who's in the crowd tonight.
Shout out to Matt Wiltie's brother.
Shout out to Mark Wiltie. This is something he would always comment on back in our younger days, was the Fernando Morientes-Raúl tandem. Those two together were an unbelievable strike partnership, and they were just the perfect yin yang. They played off each other perfectly, and we blew that up. I mean, obviously we signed Ronaldo Nazario, so it's always you think that's an upgrade, but the chemistry there between those two Spanish strikers from the youth system, that's the stuff of dreams, and they were playing incredible together, winning Champions Leagues together, and we blew it up.
When you think, like, you can go so deep down this rabbit hole. When you bring up Fernando Morientes, just think of the fact, like, how much we put that guy through. He was so good for us. He's just a humble, nice player, perfect partnership with Raul. We signed OG Ronaldo, which, like, look, we always sign. I will sign OG Ronaldo every day, you know, if we have the chance. But then you think about, like, then we have him on the roster. We're bringing in Michael Owen.
Yeah.
We're bringing in Antonio Cassano at one point. At one point, we had like 5 strikers, and he's like the 5th choice. Like, what? Well, unnecessary. So I did remember just now that we are also doing trivia tonight. So I don't know. You know, we have to leave room for that as well. So